morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and all the eminent personalities, the press people, and the youth out here. It's a great privilege for me to be a part of this panel discussion, and my sincere gratitude to Juhi and Himanshu. They're always really good at it, and every time I attend the event, it's better than the best. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the MSMEs. The micro, small, medium enterprises sector has emerged as a highly vibrant and dynamic sector of the Indian economy over the last 5 decades. The MSME also plays an important role in the development of the economy with their effective, efficient, flexible, and innovative entrepreneurial spirit. The MSME sector contributes notably to the country's overall industrial production, output, employment, and export. It is recognized with generating the maximum employment growth as well as accounting for a major share of industrial production and exports. This sector is a large contributor to the socio-economic development of the country. The MSME sector is an important pillar of the Indian economy as it contributes greatly to the growth of Indian economy with a vast network of about 30 million units, creating employment of about 70 million manufacturing, more than 6,000 products, contributing about 45% to manufacturing output and about 40% of exports, directly and indirectly. This sector even assumes greater importance now as the country moves towards a faster and inclusive growth road. Ladies and gentlemen, today's panel discussion topic is how are the companies which are registered under the MSMEs are contributing to the economy of our country. My great and eminent panelists today have people from diverse fields. I would like to welcome Ms. Charu Pragya. She's a lawyer, politician who heads the National Legal Cell of the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha Youth Wing. She's also a national TV panelist, BJP, and speaks on issues of governance, policy, local civic issues, education, and social rural programs. She also serves as a vice president of the National Anti-Doping Agency, Anti-Doping Disciplinary Panel. Ms. Pragya has represented India as the fellow of ACYPL, that is American Council of Young Political Leaders, which is really great. She is the alumni of Konrad Adenauer School of Young Politicians. She represents India at the Madrid Forum of Democracy, where 35 nations were representing. She is a passionate social reformer and a crusader for women's rights. She runs free legal aid centers for women across India. She also organizes training workshops and legal awareness camps for women and youth across the country. Let's give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. My next panelist, Vasundhara Nate. She is the director at Client Services of Vertex Global Service in India, which is a leading global MNC professional service organization offering IT managed services, digital marketing, and CEO and ML. She's experienced senior talent acquisition consultant with a demonstrated history of working in automotive industry, retail banking. Let's have a big round for her, please. My next panelist, Ashutosh Srivastava. He's a Supreme Court lawyer. The biggest risk in life is not to take risk, he believes, and he's a profound Supreme Court lawyer who set a benchmark and became a role model for the youth of this country in legal profession by representing India at the most coveted international forum for achievers among all over the world. He set a miraculous example for all the young and passionate lawyers by receiving the Mahatma Gandhi Samman for his exemplary performance in the legal field at a very young age by the Honorable Prime Minister of Britain at a highly elite House of Lords event in London. Let's give a big round of applause to Srivastava. Aman Ji is yet to join us, so we will await her arrival. My next panelist, it was a pleasure speaking to Nikhil while the event was still on the way. I think I've never met a young entrepreneur with the age of 23, right, Nikhil? So I think it deserves a big round of applause initially, then again later, yes. He's a growing businessman born and brought up in a middle-class family from Rajasthan. He grows up with lots of dreams in his mind. He completed his graduation from Indore and from the Nirma University. Nikhil Industries was recently set up as a manufacturing unit in the state of Gujarat at Dahej. With 2 decades of family business in calcium chloride, started by his grandfather and grown by his father and uncle. I think they're also present here today, so a big round of applause for all of you from the Nikhil Industry. Nikhil Industries has been set up as a greenfield project and is augmenting the increased demand for the product. The products are manufactured with the latest technology, and I'm sure we'll learn more while during the panel discussion with Nikhil and his team. I would like to put up the question to Charu Pragya. Charuji. India is expected to emerge as one of the leading economies in the world over the next decade in the light of a positive political economic scenario. The micro, small and medium enterprises segment is expected to play a significant role in the emergence of the Indian economy. How do you envisage the boost to the Indian economy with the leadership of MSME in coming years?
Thank you so much. And you're absolutely right. Our government has been poised to make the big leap towards becoming a Vishwaguru again. India is going to be one of the leading economies in the world to be considered. And already we are well on our way to achieve that. So 2020 actually gave India a much needed push. Like they say, every dark cloud has a silver lining. The dark cloud of COVID was utilized by making sure that we redefine our goals. And with this redefinition of goals, we have ensured that we are on a fast track to Amanji is here, so
please join.
So I'll continue first. So
Charu, I think we will just wait a while.
Perfect.
I would also like to
We'll
welcome
reopen.
Amanpreet ji. Please, can we grace the stage? And also with us is Shweta Pathak. She's a past vice chairperson for Northern India Regional Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, and she's also the member state executive committee of Delhi BJP. Let's give a big round of applause to these wonderful, amazing ladies. So Charu, coming back to you.
So India's MSME story is two-pronged. I'm going to break it up into 2 parts. The first part is, COVID के बाद हमारा देश क्या करना चाहता है? COVID के बाद हमारा पहला गोल है आत्मनिर्भर होना. We want to be self-reliant. We want to make sure that all our needs are fulfilled nationally. We don't need to look outside our country. That's goal number 1. And the second half of our target in the country is to ensure that we create jobs, is to ensure that we create employment, we create livelihood for all our citizens. And that's a very big challenge. You know, when other countries talk about jobs and they compare it to the job scenario in India, they tend to forget that one, we are the largest free population in the world. Not counting China, because China's population is not a free population. So 1, we are the largest free population in the world, and 2, we are the largest young population in the world. So around 70% of our population falls under the age of 40, which means most Indians need a job. Look at that mind-boggling number. So how do you achieve both these goals of being self-reliant, of being Atmanirbhar, and making sure all the youngsters in our country have a means of earning a decent livelihood? MSMEs is what is the link in achieving both these goals. Around 40 to 45% of the exports which are done by India are actually made in MSMEs, and that's nearly half of them. Another amazing thing about MSMEs is that when we want to integrate the country into one strong unit, half the MSMEs function in rural India. So we're already integrating rural India. At the times of COVID, when you realize that we cannot have this massive migration into the cities, and how do we make sure people living in the villages of India are comfortable and earning, MSMEs step in. again. So because half of them are there, we are able to provide job opportunities there. 150 million people work in MSMEs. So when you look at the larger goal of our country and on our path to achieve them, the most critical thing to help and support and work with our MSMEs, and the government has also recognized this. Whenever you want, I'll expand more on those issues.
Absolutely, Charu. Hello. Yeah, I think you covered a lot and very rightly said that it's a balance between the rural and the urban, what we need to understand. And we've all come out of COVID. We still are sailing in it, but I'm sure hopefully once we are totally out of it, there'll be new guidelines, new motivation, a new way forward for all these companies under the MSME. My next question to you, Vasundhara ji. In order to revive the Indian economy amid COVID-19 pandemic, as Charu had mentioned, the government has announced an economic package under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. The main thrust of the announcement has been the massive 3 lakh crore collateral-free assistance or the sovereign credit guaranteed to the micro, small, medium enterprises. How do you think and what do you think this additional packages the government is providing can attract the companies towards MSME?
Sure. Thank you so much for putting across this nice, valid question. So, first of all, I would like to thank Juhi and Himanshu for giving me this wonderful opportunity once again to be the panelist discussion over a wonderful topic which we are going to discuss on the MSME. So I would like to start with with my industry experience and then moving on to the question where I would like to give an answer. So I come up with totally 11 years of industry experience working with different multinational corporation and currently associated with an US-based IT firm as a director. Managing the 5 verticals here. So one is staff augmentation, and another one is digital marketing, and the third one is PR and branding, and the last but not the least is digital academy. So we have started Vertex Digital Academy, which is an e-learning platform on the last year, August 2020, to give free education to the rural areas of India as well as the urban areas. When we talk about the term Atmanirbhar, so I think this is basically an umbrella which has been formed under the government of India, under Narendra Modi ji's vision and mission of India 2030 should be $1 trillion economy in the world global economy, which we are targeting towards that. So this is basically an umbrella which has been formed for self-reliant and self-resilient country, which can operate independently on the GDP growth, basically. So what to give us live example on that, how we are going to achieve, which the government has given this credit announcement of 3 lakh crore for the growth of Indian economy. If you could see the survey of after the post-pandemic of COVID-19 in November 2020, honestly speaking, it is just 1.45 lakh crore. It has been distributed for the next 5 fiscal years under the government of India for the growth. And this 1.45 lakh crore has been distributed in the coming 5 years with various industry sectors of 10 sectors. When we talk about the various industry sectors, which comes under Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Education, Ministry of HRD, Ministry of Urban and Rural Development of India. So basically, these 10 sectors, when we talk about the banking sector of NBFC, so this 1.45 lakh crore has been distributed amongst these 10 sectors under various Ministry of Development of India. I wanted to give a live example. Me being associated with a private entity in Vertex Global Services, We recently got tied up with the Nepal government through NSDC, that is called National Skill Development Council, where we have tied up with 300 colleges and universities in Nepal. Through NSDC, we are going to give a free education for the rural development in Nepal. So this is one of the biggest going to be an achievement for us in 2021 to 2022 fiscal year for Vertex. So this is how I would like to say that every private MSME industry and even the companies should associate with our government of India and to see what kind of schemes or what kind of a credit announcement, how we can able to utilize these kind of stuffs and we can able to develop our economy of India. And second thing I would like to inform, we also got collaborated with National CBSI School Association in Karnataka, in entire state, where we have collaborated with so far 230 schools, where right now Bacha is not going to schools, their colleges, universities are all shut down because of the COVID. Everything has become a e-learning platform. So people are going for a virtual classes, virtual training. So we have created a platform wherein we have already 1,000 plus instructors and coaches integrated with our e-learning platform of Vertex Digital Academy, and we have started this training with all the schools and colleges started with Karnataka government, and we are also going to spread across with each and every state government. And I would also like to say one more thing before concluding this answer. We also had collaborated with Foreign Investors Council of India. So our CEO has been appointed as a chairman to grow in the Delhi chapter of Foreign Investors Council, how we can able to collaborate with MSME as well as with foreign companies to bring the investment to India to spread across this e-learning platform, as well as through the support of NSDC, National Skill Development Council, which we have already empaneled with Nepal and Bangladesh government right now. We also would going to spread across the same thing in India. So this is what every industry and every private sector, we as a private sector, if we think about how we can able to utilize this credit investment which has been given from the government of India, so that everybody can able to join hands together and we can think about the growth of economy of India. It is not only the one person or one man army like Narendra Modi ji. So we also need to collaborate and join hands together to develop our Indian nation economy. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Basundhara ji. It was very, very informative, and like we said, there's so many things happening, but people are generally not aware of what's happening in Nepal and Bangladesh, and also more emphasis on the skilling part of it, which is going there to make more of young entrepreneurs and to give a boost to these startups. I would like to request Shweta ji also to put some light on this Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign, and would really like to know that how it is benefiting and can benefit the young entrepreneurs today.
Good morning to all present. If I talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, before starting with MSME related things first of all, I would like to give a brief introduction to what Atmanirbhar package is. Because without understanding what it is, it would not be a relevant thing to discuss about.
Very important for all of us sitting here. I think that is the priority to know about this.
You all know that during this COVID pandemic, the economy was hit badly. And with the aim to bring the growth back, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji called for Atmanirbhar Bharat package, and which means self-reliant India. He rightly mentioned that there would be 5 pillars which would be the base for Atmanirbhar Bharat, which are economy, infrastructure, systems, demography, and demand. And this package was something which was a stimulus for the whole economy. The various, it came in 5 parts, and it was intended to act as a stimulus for various industry. First of all, the emphasis was to start with creating growth for all the industries which are being impacted. So the basic idea behind this package was to touch upon the labor, land, liquidity, and law. Apart from that, Modi ji said that for making this package successful and to accelerate the growth in economy, it is always important. There are certain things which are intent, inclusion, investment, innovation, and infrastructure. So if I talk about MSME specifically, earlier panelists also mentioned regarding the 3 lakh crore package which was announced. That was for the businesses, not exclusively for MSMEs, but MSME was also a major beneficiary for the same. So a 3 lakh crore was apportioned for giving collateral-free automatic loans to various businesses, including MSMEs. And if I talk about MSMEs specifically, 20,000 crores was apportioned that was specific to MSMEs, that was to promote the stressed MSMEs who got either NPAs or who are stressed. So that was specifically to promote the MSMEs which are going through bad phase. Apart from that, 50,000 crores was also apportioned by the government, which is specifically done with an intent for the equity infusion. So banks were given an instruction wherein various banks would provide loans to MSMEs, and later on that loan would be infused by the promoters of the MSMEs, which would be an equity infusion. So it is like that we are not giving loan and that would be repaid. Once it is a loan, later on it would be although repaid to the bank, but that would be an equity infusion. So that is a capital investment which would be done in MSMEs, which would help to promote MSMEs. MSMEs are very important role to play in the Indian economy. As you all know, that MSMEs play around 30% part of our Indian GDP, and they contribute to approximately 40% exports. So it is very important that MSMEs are given boost. So with the same incentive, with the same intent, MSMEs are given various more incentives so that this sector can not only boost itself and also create employment for various other sectors. And also, it is a big employment generator. Apart from that, if I talk about government procurement, government has announced that up to 200 crores in government procurements, global tenders would be disallowed. If we are disallowing government tender, if we are disallowing global tenders up to 200 crores, so you can imagine a government is asking for MSMEs to come forward and play a vital role in government procurements and be a great part of supply chain for governments. And also government has asked regarding e-market linkages. And there would be some amendments which would be given. You all know that various trade fairs and marketplaces are given to MSMEs wherein they can showcase their products and services. And, but due to this COVID pandemic, it was not possible to go for physical exhibitions and all. So in order to mitigate that situation, e-market linkage was announced. So what do we mean by e-market linkage? It is like a digital trade fair. So there would be a portal which would be made, and that will showcase the products and services which are being rendered by MSMEs. So that would be a big boost. And whenever we go digital, so it is not only about the areas which we are currently serving or the nearby areas. Whenever we go digital, that goes global. So, and our Honorable Prime Minister also mentioned that to be self-reliant, it is important that we become vocal for our local products. So that mantra, as well as e-market linkages, would be a great boost for MSMEs, and MSMEs will play a vital role in getting the growth back for our Indian economy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shweta. I think it's a great learning, and I think there's so much more to discuss. This panel will run short of time, and Juhi is going to complain us. But an important thing that, of course, we are really honored to have Deepa ji with us today. But she has to attend a virtual meeting of the Sports Authority of India, and it is a very important thing because it is on the Mission Olympics regarding the medals and the Paralympics. So I would just request her to quickly speak a few words and address us. It will be really an honor for us. Thank you, Deepa ji. So coming back to the agenda of the MSMEs and how the companies which are under the MSMEs are contributing to the economy of our country, my next question is to Advocate Ashutosh ji. India's GDP is expected to touch 8.5%, with the country likely to be a USD 5 trillion economy by 2025. The MSME segment has the potential to emerge as a backbone for this economy and act as an engine for growth, given the right set of support and the enabling framework. I need, and we would all request your views about this, please.
Thank you so much. Very good morning to all ladies and gentlemen here. And I heard Surendra ji, very nicely spoken, sir. And I think we all agree with most of the things you have explained to us. Obviously, the government, state government, central government, they would be listening to you, and they will surely implement some of the important aspects which are required to further strengthen the economy and the poor and the farmers, which we are sure about it. Now, coming back to the question you have asked to me, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say that, this MSME Development Act was enacted in the year 2006. So since 2006, this MSME revolution, or maybe the startup, has begun. And in these years, now in 2020, the government came up with some amendment. And the basic fundamental of this amendment was to increase the investment criteria. For instance, now the micro comes, for the investment of around 1 crore or less. Then the medium enterprises have been increased from 1 crore to now 10 crores. And obviously the medium enterprises, small is 10 crores, and medium is now around investment of 50 crores. So this is the new era, and the government is thinking about how to further strengthen and how to make it more efficient, and how to achieve the target, as you said, of 5 trillion US dollar economy. Obviously, there are many theories to it. There are many thought processes of the different governments, maybe the state governments or the central government. Now, to do that, as a lawyer, I feel, because I handle many of the cases before NCLT also, that is National Company Law Tribunals across the country. And I am, not happy with the way that many of these companies, maybe because of the pandemic or whatever may be the situation, they are undergoing this bankruptcy. They are under the verge of, getting insolvent before these NCLTs. And most of the cases are pending before all these NCLTs, because these companies are not able to pay maybe their debts either to the government or to the banks or to their operational creditors, from where they would have taken the money, loans, or they would have taken the supply of certain goods or raw materials, or the case may be. So to do that, obviously, I appreciate the all the schemes, like, as you mentioned, madam, about Atmanirbhar Bharat and all, that is really required. At the same time, when we are concentrating on improving and developing new industries, whether it is micro, small, medium, but at the same time, the industries which were already functional, they were functioning, they were employing people, they were already contributing to the economy of this country, they should be protected. There has to be immediate intervention of the governments, whether it is the central government or the state governments. I feel they should come up and they should strengthen, because on one hand, if we strengthen and we develop these new companies, at the same time, if the other companies which were already established are declining, then we would not be able to achieve what we have to achieve, that is $5 trillion economy. And to do that, I think we must focus on the existing manufacturing industries, export imports, or any sort of service industries which are at the verge of extinction, and they are required to be protected. And I'm sure that in our country we have different talents, we have youth. I think the average age here now is around 28 to 30 years, and we have all the youth here in our country, the young population who are so energetic. They have different talents with them, and these talents are to be utilized in right direction, and then only we can progress in all the different fields. So we should come together, all of us, because it is our responsibility. It is not only the government or the authorities who will only be doing the things. Now we all have to come together in a united way, and we have to focus as to how we can, together progress. For us, we can create employment for others. As Mr. Surendraji also said, that how long will we depend upon the government or the authorities to support us? The time should come when we should be able to support different authorities, the government, the people, poor, farmers, everyone. And with that thought in view, I'm sure the things will definitely be much better slowly. Now, as we know, this pandemic is going on, but this will not continue forever. And some of the panelists just now said that even during pandemic, there have been businesses which have grown up, which have done so well, which have supported different class of people. They have supported the employment, they have supported the economy, and so many things have been done so far. So with all this in mind, I think it will not be, if it is like we together, if we achieve this target, I'm sure not maybe $5 trillion, but maybe much more than that we can achieve together. I'm sure about it. I'm very thankful for the question. Thank you to all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashutoshi. It was a great learning, and I know we have a target set, but we are always known for breaking our records ourselves. So I'm sure we have a brighter future for India. And I would like to continue this question with Shwetaji also, to understand what, in your opinion, are the ways in which we can empower the MSME industry further so that it can be of a great help to the younger companies under it.
Thanks for the question. Before taking up this question, just would like to add what Ashutoshi said. There has been a change in the definition of definitions which were for IBC, and earlier only 1 lakh was the amount for which the companies, for anybody could go for bankruptcy of any company. But with this Atmanirbhar Bharat package, the definition has been revised so that the companies don't go that stressed because of this pandemic. So there are certain things, obviously you deal practically with those issues. I just thought to add it to that discussion so that the knowledge of all the people sitting here can be enhanced. Regarding the question which Madam asked, I would like to mention here that in the last question when we were discussing regarding the e-market linkages, so, and Ashutoshi also mentioned that there has been change in the definition of MSME. So it is very important to understand that the government is already keeping it in mind that MSMEs needs to be empowered. So what we need to do is we need to understand what all facilities or what all provisions the government is creating for MSMEs. So we need to take advantage of all the policies which are already in place or which government is bringing in for boosting this sector. Also, you all remember that when GST was introduced on 1st July 2017, and I being chartered accountant proudly mentioned that government chose that date to be on the CA day. So that time also, when GST was being discussed, it was always said that GST is not a taxation reform, it is a business reform. It will reform the way businesses are done. And if I put it to the MSME discussion, we need to understand that how we restructure our businesses, that is the key. How we can empower our businesses, how we can create opportunities, or how we can transform the threats into opportunities for our businesses. Also, when we discuss regarding the budget allocations or the budget discussions in last 3-4 years, so government has always been talking regarding finance transformations and has been giving a lot of funds allocation for the technological sector. So we need to understand that we need to adopt the latest technologies coming in. There are a lot of things which we need to understand and implement in our businesses. So you all must be knowing that there are a lot of finance transformation happening, a lot of business process re-engineering, artificial intelligence coming in. And whenever we talk about high-end technologies, we always think that these would be very costly, but we just keeping in mind our own perceptions, we do not explore these things. Currently, if I talk about bots, these are starting with only 6,000 or 7,000 rupees. So we need to understand what are the requirements of our business and how we can transform the processes which can be helpful for growing our business in terms of revenue or to lower down our costs. So we need to just ensure that how we can effectively and efficiently do our businesses. So it's a very good time at the moment when government is trying to promote MSME. So we need to take care, and we need to understand all the possibilities which are available for us. So what we need to do is we just need to understand all these things, all the policies which are coming in for us, and we need to couple that with technology. So that would give a great boon to this sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you so much for your views. And I would now like to request Amanpreet ji is among us today, and we are really honored to have you here. Amanpreet ji is the Joint Commissioner of Income Tax, and I'm sure the most important person here. So my question to you, in order to be globally competitive, it will be essential for India's entrepreneurial skills to be global in their outlook and adopt innovation, develop world-class technologies, and to skill the nation's favorable age profile of human resources.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am. First of all, a very, very good morning to everybody. Talking about MSMEs, I think it is need of the hour that the policies, the programs which the government is having, the knowledge about them should reach to the poorest of the poor, to the remotest of the remotest areas of the country. I think since my UPSC days, when the discussion was going on, you reminded me of back of my UPSC days when I used to say, I remember one of the, during my interviews also, I was asked this question that if you become an IAS, what will you do about your district or something like that? So what new policies will you bring? So my honest answer, which I gave that year was, till date, I believe that there is no dearth of important policies and programs in our country. We have beautiful minds. We have beautiful policies which are made by them. Where we lack is the implementation. And why do we lack in implementation is because not many of us knows about the policies and programs. Being a civil servant, there are many policies. When Juhi and Himanshu told me that the topic is MSMEs, so I was going through I was Googling something, and there were many beautiful programs which I came across. Then there's a digital platform, I think, which was introduced in 2014, and Virtual Mind. This is the name of, many of you might be knowing, which I am, correct me if I am wrong. The Virtual Mind is a platform where the various stakeholders of these policies, they are able to connect with the various income tax policies, custom policies. The things are made easier for them. So I think because India is a developing country and we have developed a lot, if we see the development of our country since past few years only, we have developed a lot. And hats off whenever I see our vaccination going across globally going across, I feel very, very proud. These are very proud sightings for all of us. And COVID, I think COVID has been an eye-opener for everybody of us, where we have come to know the importance of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and the role of MSMEs has become all the more important owing to the pandemic, which has been a real eye-opener for us. There are many eminent personalities among us who are the stakeholders, and Rajesh ji is there. So I have seen him working with the poorest of the poor people, going beyond his duty, and he has his work on menstrual health also, I must appreciate, which not many police officers touch this topic. He has engaged the poorest of the poor and worked on this area. So hats off to such beautiful officers, beautiful people who have really worked on developing the skill of the people. And where we lack is, whenever I go across, I had an opportunity being from a revenue service, so I didn't had much opportunities to go to the poorest of the poor, because the people whom I interact, they are elite section of the society. So during COVID, when I actually went to the slums of the Delhi or various parts of the country, I came across some wonderful, wonderful ladies, wonderful people who were actually producing their local products in a very great manner. Many of my bureaucrat friends, many of my civil servants friends who are from Northeast, they are already projecting the work of their areas, and I think we are on the right track. Instead of, I think, always cribbing, our country is not doing this, our officers are not doing this, our politicians are not doing things. Instead of that, I think we should start appreciating the beautiful things of life. We should start appreciating the efforts being made by fellow countrymen. And I think where we lack is skill development. We should all come up together and try to look across how, in a very small way, we can contribute, we can ourselves contribute for developing the skill of the people. And I think this is the need of the hour, and we all together can sail through this.
Thank you, Amanpreet ji, very well said. But slightly deviating from the topic, when we spoke that we are always complaining, but very few people appreciate. So quick incidents, I and my husband happened to go to one of the government offices for certain authorities, and actually that was really well managed. So my husband, typical being an army officer, went and complimented the registrar over there and said that it's very well managed. The registrar actually stood up and said, "Sir, can I shake hand with you?" So we were quite taken aback. He said, "Yes, you are the only one person in so many years who has come here and said this. Otherwise, people are screaming outside, they are writing outside, and everybody has hundred of complaints to make that यहाँ पे सब गदर हो रहा है, कोई system में नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है." So I think it is very important. I think we should change our perception towards our own government and the government offices, and forces, of course, is doing great work always. So we salute to them. Yes.
So thank you for bringing that up, and Amanpreet ji knows I'm a great admirer of hers and all the work that she does. But taking on from there, हम लोगों की ना जो mentality हो गई है हमारे देश वालों की, and I'm saying this with all humility, but honesty also, कि हम एक समय में trapped हैं हमारे दिमाग में, और वो समय शायद 15 साल पहले का था या 10 साल पहले का था, जहाँ पर it was cool to abuse the government. It was very cool to say the system's not working. हम apathetic type के लोग हैं. एक फेंस पे बैठे रहते हैं और बस क्रिटिसाइज करने का काम करते हैं, उसके अलावा हमें कुछ करना नहीं है। हम यहाँ बैठेंगे और यहाँ से हमें जो दिखेगा हम उसमें सिर्फ कमियाँ ढूंढेंगे और हम क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे। आई थिंक द जॉय ऑफ इंडिया टुडे इज दैट वी आर मूविंग ऑन फ्रॉम दैट एपैथेटिक सिचुएशन ऑफ जस्ट सिटिंग ऑन अ फेंस एंड पासिंग कमेंट्स। तो जो वो एक पुराना समय था, जैसा मैंने कहा कि 10 साल पहले का अप्रॉक्सीमेटली, कि जब सरकार काम नहीं करती है, एक परसेप्शन था, सारे पॉलिटिशियंस बेकार होते हैं, एक परसेप्शन था, एनजीओज में एक्चुअली ग्राउंड लेवल पर चेंज नहीं लाया जाता है, इट इज़ यूज्ड फॉर अदर थिंग्स, एक परसेप्शन था। सो वी आर पॉइज्ड एट ग्रेटनेस फॉर आवर कंट्री टुडे ओनली बिकॉज दिस जनरेशन हैज मूव्ड ऑन फ्रॉम दैट परसेप्शन। आज हम ये बोलते हैं कि हमारे देश में कमियां होंगी लेकिन हमारी सरकार काम कर रही है। Every day we come up with a new policy which is adding to the development of our nation. आज हम ये भी बोलते हैं कि you know that whole concept of the glass being half full or half empty, और सारा डिस्कशन ये होता था कि आपको ग्लास आधा भरा दिखता है या खाली दिखता है। बट आई थिंक दिस जनरेशन हैज मूव्ड ऑन फ्रॉम दैट ऑल्सो। अब उनको ये लगता है कि मैं सिर्फ इस ग्लास को देखना नहीं चाहती, मैं ये देख रही हूँ कि क्या मेरे पास पानी है जो इसमें मैं ऐड करके कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकती हूँ। एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाई आवर एमएसएमई स्टोरी इज बिल्डिंग अप डे बाय डे। वी आर एबल टू लिंक रूरल इंडिया टू इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स बिकॉज वी आर एक्चुअली लुकिंग एट अ ग्लास जिसमें हम पानी ऐड करने के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, सिर्फ कमेंट करने के लिए नहीं सोच रहे। एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाई एमएसएमई टुडे इज गेटिंग द एनकरेजमेंट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट इन ऑल वेज। पहले जैसे बोलते थे कंपनी खोलना बहुत मुश्किल है, हमने आसान कर दिया। सो पीपल हु वांट टू ओपन अ कंपनी, हु वांट टू क्रिएट एम्प्लॉयमेंट फॉर अदर्स, ऐड टू द स्टोरी ऑफ राइजिंग इंडिया, कैन डू इट इन एन ईजियर वे। उन लोगों के टैक्सेशन के सिस्टम में हमने मदद कर दी, उनके एक्सपोर्ट्स में हमने मदद कर दी। सो ऑल द वे फ्रॉम देम adding to our GDP more and more every single year. Currently, the contribution of MSMEs to our GDP is between 20 to 22%. लेकिन वो हर साल बढ़ रहा है, पिछले साल से इस साल नंबर इज ऑलरेडी शोइंग अ राइज इन दिस क्वार्टर. सो आई ग्रेटली अप्रिशिएट द फैक्ट दैट आई एम सिटिंग विद अ बंच ऑफ पीपल हु आर लुकिंग एट पॉसिबिलिटीज एंड लुकिंग एट अप्रिशिएटिंग थिंग्स विच आर गोइंग राइट अराउंड अस. मोस्ट पैनल्स में आप आएंगे, 4 लोग हर चीज को क्रिटिसाइज करेंगे और आपकी स्पीच उतनी ही अच्छी होती है जितनी क्रिटिकल होती है. And that's become the norm, and we have to move on from there if we want to contribute to nation building.
Absolutely, very well said शारू. और जब तक हमें अपने देश पे गर्व नहीं होगा, बाकी countries भी हम पे गर्व नहीं करेंगी. So we need to be proud of our country. So my question coming to the youngest entrepreneur here present here with the age of 23, Nikhil. MSME can nurture and support development of new age entrepreneurs like you, who have the potential to create globally competitive businesses from India. It can also be the backbone for existing and future high growth businesses, with both domestic and foreign companies investing in the Make in India initiative and making a significant impact in the areas of indigenization. So what are your views about that?
Thank you, ma'am. Namaste to all. My views, MSME, the government जो स्कीम्स लाती है एमएसएमईज़ के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है उनको ग्रो करने के लिए और फास्टर रेट से ग्रो करने के लिए. एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बहुत जल्दी कोई होते हैं स्टार्टिंग में हार मान जाते हैं, हार मान लेते हैं, उनसे नहीं हो पाता है, वो लोग छोड़ देते हैं बीच में. बट जो गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स लाती है एमएसएमईज़ के लिए और जो अभी लाना चालू किया है उनसे बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिलती है और एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को कि वो ग्रो करे. और बहुत सारी जगह ऐसी जेड्स खोल दी हैं गवर्नमेंट ने जो वहाँ पे अलग अलग स्कीम्स रहती है और अलग अलग उनको एडवांटेजेस भी रहते हैं कंपनीज खोलने के लिए. तो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होता है एमएसएमईज़ के लिए कि वो ग्रो कर, और जितनी ज़्यादा एमएसएमईज़ खुलती है उतना ज़्यादा अपनी इकोनॉमी को ग्रोथ मिलता है, पुश मिलता है. एंड जितने अपने एंटरप्रेन्योर्स पे गवर्नमेंट और मेक इन इंडिया पे फोकस करवा रही है तो उससे अपना एक्सपोर्ट भी बढ़ेगा, तो वो भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. और आफ्टर द कोविड पेंडेमिक और एट द टाइम ऑफ कोविड पेंडेमिक इट इज़ वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट कि अपन अपने डोमेस्टिकली डिपेंडेंट रहे बहुत. तो इट इज़ गुड एंड it is very helpful from the government side कि एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को भी बहुत इतना मौका मिल रहा है और वो धीरे धीरे ग्रो कर रहे हैं.
Thank you, Nikhil. And I know we are taking a bit long and this discussion can go on and on, so I would like to put one last question to everybody here. There is a need to promote Z manufacturing, that is the zero effect, zero defect, as envisaged by the Make in India. So I would like all of you to put your views to it, starting from.
Yes, as I said earlier, like how we have been associated with the different government of India and with other countries wherein we are promoting this e-learning and the other things. So as this question is also which has been put across. So I think concluding all these panelists, whoever have discussed and put across their views, I also would like to conclude on the same way. Pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, how we have been nurtured and how we have been reacted towards this industry sector. So we also need to think and react and then implement and take a wise decision how we can able to improve in this MSME Act, which has been given this credit investment. Now we can able to improve on this GDP growth of economy of India with other countries, on how we can able to promote each and every sectors and even the small entrepreneurs to big entrepreneurs, and even the industrialists and even every individual should think about on these aspects and to put across and come across a different strategical viewpoints associated with our policies of government of India to take it forward to the next level. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Ashutosh ji, zero effect, zero defect. What are your
Yeah,
views?
see, zero effect, zero defect. I think this will really improve the quality of the products which we are focusing on. And we used to depend on many countries only because of the quality of the products. We used to buy that this is made in England, this is made in China, this is made in this is made in Japan. That concept will go if we improve the quality of the products we manufacture in India. And obviously, with that in view, I think we'll be able to even export the manufactured goods which we make in India to the other countries and to improve it. And I think on those lines, even our Consumer Protection Act recently has been also amended, which focuses on the quality of the products which the consumer buys, even the services. So that will really improve the quality, overall quality, and that will improve the overall industries in the country. Thank you.
Absolutely. Charu, what are your views about it?
So I think India's manufacturing story is strong, but India's marketing story is not as strong. And when we say that we have all kinds of manufacturing in our country, like we can compete with the cheapest products in the world and bring the price down because cost of labor in our country is still very cheap. And moving on from there, we can produce the finest luxury items in our country. And so many of these items are actually not even available in the Indian market. You know, there are places, there are hubs where manufacture is done and it is completely export oriented and it goes to the finest brands and the most luxurious brands the world over. I think the gap is in telling the story and marketing the story of this this kind of manufacture. Recently, I came to know, during COVID times actually, I came to know that brands as fancy as Louis Vuitton, as fancy as Gucci are manufacturing in our country. And we do not know about it because this marketing story is not talked about as much. We will try and say, खिलौना हम चाइना से ला रहे हैं क्योंकि वहाँ सस्ता मिलता है. हमारे पास एक कंपनी है जो हम सस्ता खिलौना बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. We are not saying that you don't need to buy your 120 thread count Egyptian sheets from a superstore in London. It's being manufactured right here in India and it's being sent to London. So that's what we need to focus on, and I know it's slightly critical to say this, but the government needs to allow these people or help these people to speak about what they do in a better way. So the average Indian knows that the quality of Indian production is very high if they want to keep it high.
Very true. Nikhil, since you are heading one of the top industries in Dahej, what is your view about the zero effect and zero defect?
Ma'am, it is very important, zero effect and zero defect for our reputation, for our environment, for our surrounding. and also I want to state that we have 4 units before this, and 2 साल के R&D के बाद, ट्रायल एंड एरर मेथड के बाद हमने जो निखिल इंडस्ट्रीज सेटअप किया था, तो उसमें हमने यही पूरा टारगेट लेके चला है, ज़ीरो इफेक्ट और ज़ीरो डिफेक्ट का, और अभी मोस्टली सक्सेसफुल है। और अभी हमारा ये रहेगा कि हम जो पुरानी 4 यूनिट्स है अक्रॉस द इंडिया, उसमें भी ये इम्प्लीमेंट करें। इससे अभी 2 महीने हुआ है चालू हुए हमारा प्लांट, और तो इससे कस्टमर सेटिस्फेक्शन हमको बहुत अच्छा मिल रहा है, एंड एटमॉस्फेयर भी बहुत अच्छा रहता है कंपनी का। सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड वी आर ट्राइंग टू सेट अप दिस मैनेजिंग सिस्टम इन आवर ऑल द यूनिट्स।
Shweta ji.
Thanks for this question again. Whenever we talk about zero defect, I would like to talk about the practical realities. We must aim at zero defects, but practically it is not possible that there would be no defects. So we have to accept the fact. But we have to target that there should be no defects, and we have to either produce our products, or we have to render the services which are world class or which are very high in standards. And when we were also talking about being vocal for our local products, because we want to make our local products global. How those products can become global? When we have high standards. And when we are talking about high standards, so we have to target for, although zero defects, but whenever we are targeting for zero defects and we find certain defects in the processes, we have to understand what are the lines which create those defects. We have to work on eliminating those processes which give defects to our products or services. So we have to understand that we have to create world-class products. Not much to add about it, just passing on.
Amanpreet ji.
A few years back, I went to Europe. Most of you might be knowing I'm from Ludhiana. So during one of my shopping spree, I came across a mall and I started buying something from me. And the brand which I chose to purchase for myself was an Indian brand. तो जब मैंने टैग पढ़ा, I called up, क्योंकि वो लुधियाना के जितने भी हैं सारे अंकल ही हैं मेरे हौजरी वाले, तो I called up uncle, क्योंकि जब I was born, the first frock which I wore was gifted by uncle, and I myself knew कि उनका brand क्या है. So I think this is the lack of awareness कि हमारी जो brands हैं या जो हमारे ही MSMEs हैं, जो हमारे ही businessmen हैं, हमारे, as Charu ji said there, what we lack is how to promote them, how to market them. I think this is very, very important. And talking about zero effect, zero defect, as I'm from income tax department, recently I got promoted to joint commissioner. But then when I was DC, I have been raiding so many factories and so many premises. तो जब कभी बैठते हैं उनकी balance sheet देखते हैं तो losses होते हैं, तो when I ask them the question why so much losses, so they say कि ma'am we lack skilled manpower. So I think जो skilled manpower है, it is one of the biggest factors which can actually lead, we can move towards zero effect, zero defect, I think, when this gap is bridged. So I conclude this.
Absolutely, Amanpreet ji. And just concluding the
One
whole
more thing I would like to add to what Charuji and Amanpreet ji said. Although it is very important that we should brand our products, that's really important as mentioned by Charuji. But one thing which we always forget, that we have a kind of perception, I don't know why, in this Indian society, that whenever we go to any malls and go to any branded shops, we think that that product would be very good. But when we go to a local market, although products would be of similar quality, and that too of a little lower price, we have a mindset that it would not be that good. We need to change our mindset, because without changing our mindset, we cannot create a better market for our better entrepreneurs. So we have to change that perception, and that should start from within. I remember when I was studying chartered accountancy, there used to be subject of indirect taxation. So what our teacher told us that there are many companies, very big branded companies, would not like to mention the names here. What they do is they buy products from local markets, just checking the standards, and after that they do their labeling and branding. And after labeling and branding is done, the government imposes certain indirect taxes on them. So, because we know that fact, because we have studied that, we do not have such perception in mind. But I don't know why that perception in the mind of all the people. So we must promote our local people who are doing businesses. We have to be voice for them, and we have to encourage them. Only then it would be a better ecosystem for them to sustain and grow. Thank you.
श्वेता जी, I'm taking up more time, but I loved what you said. और इसी चीज़ पे मुझे एक बात याद आई. So I became a huge fan and supporter of Modi ji for many, many reasons. But one of the biggest reasons why I support him wholeheartedly, and I am a staunch कार्यकर्ता in his party, is this. बहुत सारे बदलाव देश में लेजिस्लेशन से आते हैं. A lot of changes come about because a legislation is passed, एक लॉ बनाया जाता है, शायद कोर्ट का कोई ऑर्डर होता है, पार्लियामेंट में कोई बिल इंट्रोड्यूस होता है. लेकिन a bigger impact is actually made when there is a change of mindset, and that change of mindset comes when you lead with example. So many years back, when our Prime Minister was new in office, he gave a slogan, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ. एक हैशटैग चला था, सेल्फी विद डॉटर. And people who did not take a lot of pride in their daughters. I know we are from privileged backgrounds and we come from families जहाँ बेटियों को वैसे भी celebrate किया जाता है, लेकिन a huge part of our country is also made up of people who put down their daughters, who are not given the same opportunities as the sons are being given. But with that one simple hashtag, मैंने इतने सारे गाँव के लोगों को देखा कि वो अपनी बच्चियों को जब गोदी भी कम बिठाते होंगे, शायद उन्होंने पास बुलाया, बच्चे को प्यार किया, फोटो खींच के सब जगह शेयर किया, क्योंकि मोदी जी वाज लीडिंग बाय एग्जांपल, एंड सेल्फी विद डॉटर या बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ बहुत एक अच्छी चीज हो गई. द सेम थिंग हैपेंड इन कोविड. Vocal for local is one thing which is going to go a huge way in transforming our country, because all of a sudden I'm running into people who are saying things like मैंने ना Zara की शर्ट नहीं पहनी है. There is this small little company जो मेरे शहर में शुरू हुई है, कोविड टाइम्स में शुरू हुई है, छोटा सा प्रोडक्शन है पर बहुत फाइन क्वालिटी के बड़े अच्छे कपड़े बनाते हैं. सो ये जो अब नया माइंडसेट आया है कि मेरे को ब्रांडेड शू नहीं चाहिए, मुझे एक हैंडमेड शू चाहिए विच इज़ मेड इन इंडिया, विच इज़ एथिकली सोर्स्ड, लोकली सोर्स्ड, मेड इन इंडिया. एंड दिस माइंडसेट इज एक्चुअली very important because it's nearly as important as all the money which has been given out to support Atmanirbhar Bharat. I know a tremendous effort has been made by the government, a big amount of budget has been set out for this. But as important as this budget is, it's equally important to sensitize your citizens to the fact that being vocal for local now is the cool thing. It's no longer cool to say कि मैं जो जूते पहनती हूँ मैं US से लेकर आई हूँ. अब उससे ज़्यादा बोलने में इस चीज़ के लिए हमको खुशी मिलती है कि मैं जो जूते पहनती हूँ वो एक्चुअली एक छोटे से शहर में एक शू मेकर है, उसकी अपनी छोटी सी फैक्ट्री है और मैं वहाँ से उसको खरीदती हूँ. So this change is actually the change which is going to take the MSME sector to a whole new level.
Absolutely, Charuji. Just two things I would like to conclude before we end this whole panel discussion. One, like we said, was that we have to have faith in our own product. Like, I remember I'd gone to New York, and in one of the stores I saw a product which really caught my eye. It said Indian herbal toothbrush. And it was actually a datun, and it was priced at $10. So you can imagine. So I think we all need to have faith in our own product and use that. And second, like what Surendraji and other people have been mentioning about it, that हमें अपने ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों को शहरों से जोड़ना है, and we have to prepare ourselves for the global market. So I think that is something which is very, very important for all of us. And it has been a great learning for all of us today, all the senior people here and all the youth, young entrepreneurs out here. great learning, and I think we will be taking this forward in our own ways, in our own businesses, in our own enterprises. And thank you once again, Integrated Achievers, Juhi and Himanshu, for giving us this platform to talk about it and make us more learned. Thank you once again. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you.